Hello everyone, welcome back to Glitz and Glitter. I have these adorable UV DTF stickers. Aren't they cute? They're making me hungry. So I thought, there's 8 of them. They're all different, but I'm not gonna make 8 coasters. I rarely even make 4 coasters, but I'm gonna do 4 of them today. And I'm going to do a base of a geode style, because it would leave me a center that I usually like to put a sticker in instead of glitter or crushed glass or things like that. So I generally go towards the stickers for them. I'm going to stay in the pink family, but not the red family. And I think I'm going to use just a couple drops of the red in my clear today. And then I kind of want a combination of these 3. So I didn't want as light as this pink, and I didn't want as dark as that pink. So I pulled out all 3. So we're just going to mix our own color today. This is the interference pink that I just received from Let's Resin. So we're going to mix that up. So generally when I do these, I leave or working face up. So what we see on the top is what we end up with. Now, if you choose to pour clear in the backs first, you could possibly get a reversible coaster with a crackle on the back. So we can try that. I'm not opposed to that, but if you definitely don't care about the backs, or if you're going to cover them with cork or whatever, then you don't have to go through the extra step of putting the clear on there. So I think I'm just going to go around clear around the edge. I don't know, I might drizzle it in. I'm not sure. So we don't want to fill these completely up. They hold probably 3.5 ounces each. So I'm going to just mix up like 12 ounces of the epoxy. So you want to use your epoxy that you have that will work the longest time. So you want the reaction to have time to work, and you don't really want to turn your heat mat on until it's completely done working. Every time I look in here, I'm seeing something in these things, and I just clean them, like just clean them. All right, let me grab some of my epoxy. I'm going to mix up about 12 ounces, and then we'll separate it, debubble it, and start pouring. I took my 12 ounces. I left 5 in here for clear, quote unquote. However, I'm going to tint it red. Not much red, just barely red. 4 little drops, which is not much at all for 5 ounces. And then I have split the other, I think there's like 2.5 and I don't know, 3 and 4, or 2.5 and 4.5, something like that. So I just need enough of the darkest color, which is going to be my pink, just to go around the very edge. And then the rest is going to be a white, which I forgot to go grab my white, and then the clear, which is now red, but it's really clear. I mean, it's very, very transparent. There's something in here, a little feather. Huh, wonder where that came from. Let me get rid of that. Oh, did it fall back in? Yes. I gotta go grab a white. I forgot to get white. You don't have to do white. A lot of people do a color in white for their geode style, but you don't have to. You could just pick 2 colors. Let me just do my pink while I'm sitting here, and then I'll go grab a white. So I mostly want the pink, the lighter pink, like I said, which obviously is all around the edge, because every time I open it, it goes everywhere. Let's start with that. It's all in my cap. That's the problem. And then I'm going to add a little bit of the other color just to make it a little bit darker. I didn't want to do red because I want to be able to see the sticker, which has the strawberries on it. And there's a little tiny tinge of pink in some of the stickers, but we're gonna try to get the lightest pink yet still have the effect. Let's just start with a tiny, tiny bit and see if that changes anything. The interference, do we need it? Not necessarily. That really didn't do anything. Let me just add a little bit more. I don't think, actually, I don't know. Maybe I'll put the interference in my white. because I don't want to lighten this back up to what I just did. Or maybe I shouldn't use the interference at all. But I do like the pink tint to it. Try to get all these ridges of powder mixed in. I think that's going to have to do because I don't want to overdo the powder. And then we're going to throw all this through the vacuum chamber. Let me just move this out of the way. And I don't want to go crazy with the interference because I don't want it to drop. The sparkles in here can tend to drop and fall to the back, which doesn't really matter, but I'm just going to put a tiny little bit. And let me go grab my white real quick. Let's try the new one that I just received in my Happy Mail. We'll try that one. I haven't opened this one yet. So let's get that open and give it a try. Whoops. A decent amount. You don't want to underdo it or you're really not going to get a good reaction. And I don't know if you're going to see that pink tint or not after everything's said and done. I'm just playing around with some colors, so don't be afraid to try things. It should still work, I hope. Now that I just said that, I hope it works. But I can't, I don't understand. I don't think there would be a reason it wouldn't work. I do need a little more. It's not quite white enough. So if I can see my stick through my colors, then I always add more powder. And then once I can't see the stick anymore, that's pretty much when I stop. Just make sure you mix your powders in really, really super good, or they will fall or float and you will see them and you will know exactly what it is. Not that anybody else would know, but we're our worst critics, right? That looks much better. Okay, I'm going to throw this through the vacuum chamber. We're going to get all the bubbles out that I just stirred in. And then we're going to do this super cute pour. I think I'm just going to stick to the geode today, and I'm not going to use my clear around the edge because I don't think I'm going to have enough to do the centers if I do that. I only mixed up 12 ounces. So I'm just going to spray one, go around the edge, which you don't need a lot of your dark color. So I'm going to try to do it as circular as I possibly can and as even as I can. Like that. Do this one. Try to split it evenly yet use all of my resin. Because I can't remember how much these actually hold. It's been a while since I've used these molds, but I'm pretty sure it's around 3.5-ish. But I don't, like I said, I don't want to fill them all the way up. It'd be better to have a paper cup so you can squeeze the end, but I didn't have one next to me, so I didn't use that. And if you get a drip like that, you're going to want to wipe it, or you're going to see that for sure on the back of your coaster. But if you're going to cover your coaster, it's not going to matter. Okay, so I have some left over. I'm just going to go around and try to even up my circles here. And then we're going to pour the white in the center and then the clear on top of the white. And it's not staying circular. I hope my centers come out circular. Thank God for the sticker that might cover the non-circular geode. I'm just trying to use it all up. And see how that one's, yeah, they're all kind of lopsided a little bit. I didn't use the best cup. Plus resin does what resin wants, right? All right, so let's just put it there. So I'm going to take my white and pour as equally as possible and check from the side view to make sure they're all filled approximately the same way. This one's definitely going to be off center. This one probably will be too. Let me just check from the side. I'm going to do this one. A little more in here. I'm trying to leave some at the top. I don't want to over pour, so I think I'm going to stop with the white and use my clear. That way we can get the reaction that we're looking for. So try to pour as center as you possibly can. Leaving space for your top coat. So I'm going to have some extras. That's about all I want to use. So I do have probably 2.5 ounces left. So you really only needed 10 ounces to do these for. I'm just going to take my heat gun real quick and kind of go around them. Let me move everything out of the way. See a couple bubbles that didn't pop. 1 second. And a little piece of something got in there. I'll put you on, oh my gosh, what was that? Something on my glove. Some silicone. Okay. I'll put you on a little time lapse so you can watch it working while I figure out what to do with the extra. I'm just going to layer my extras into something. I don't know what, but that's all I'm going to do. Just in case we get a really cool effect with the extras, I'm just really layering the colors that I have left over. I'm just seeing some tiny little things. If you have something in there, now's the time to get it out before you start messing up what the reaction's going to do. A little bit of dust in there. All right, ready for the time lapse? You guys, like, it's been an entire day, more than 24 hours. I don't know what happened. I have done this technique 30 or 40 or even 50 times and got the exact results that I expected, and not today. I have gone over this in my head 1,000 times, watched the video. I did nothing different. My house is the same temperature. It's the same epoxy. I always choose any mica I want. I've always chosen any alcohol ink that I want. And I always get the exact same results until today. And today I got 4 different results. Like, I was watching it as you were on the time lapse, And I'm like, something is completely off because nothing is working. They all move differently. This crackled, didn't do a geode effect. I'm not even gonna unmold them. Same thing here. Weird crackle on the top. These two, nothing at all. These two just puddled. And of course it's a day that I want to make 4 of them. So like, I've been going over this and over this. Like, I want to save these. And I'm glad I didn't fill them completely up. So I came up with a plan B that should be okay. If it's not okay, I have to go to plan C because I refuse to give up. I refuse to let you guys give up. And I want to give you plan Bs and plan Cs and plan Ds. And like, I told Dawn multiple times that I was going to just scrap the video. They're never going to know I made it. I don't know what happened. I'm not going to be able to tell them how to fix it. I'm just not even going to show the video. And then you guys are all in the back of my head saying, please show us mistakes. We need to learn from your mistakes. So here I am, stumped. Don't know what happened. I mean, I've made these countless times. That's why they're my go-to coaster. So now, I don't know. So I'm going to mix up 4 ounces of tabletop resin. I'm going to mix up the same pink. I'm going to mix up the same white. And we're just going to drizzle and combine and heat gun and pray to God I get a decent effect because I really want these stickers to go on them. So let me get the tabletop resin mixed up. You could probably use whatever you want. The reason I'm choosing tabletop is because if it's gonna move, I don't want it to move very long. The epoxy would move way too long and probably combine all my colors. 4-hour fast cure probably would work. I'm going for tabletop though because it'll probably be sticky in 15 minutes and I might actually leave it on my table for 10 of those minutes just so I can kind of control what's going to happen. So let me get that ready. I'll be back in a split second. And we're ready. So I got my pink and I got my white and I didn't let it sit. I let it sit maybe 5 minutes after I stirred it for 5 minutes. So it's been about 10 minutes. We don't have a ton of time. I'm just going in for it. I don't know what else to do other than this. So let's try 1 first. Because if I hate it, I'm not going to continue on. I'm just going to take my heat gun to it and see if I can mix it around. So that's more pink than I want. See, that's why you do 1, or more white than I want, I should say. And it looks like if I'm careful, and if this works, I can still put the sticker on, and I can still top coat. We'll dome it really well if I can get this to go in the way I want it to. If not, I really would rather have some pink in there. Let's try this again. And it's gonna move around on its own, so I think what I'll do on these is start with the white because I'd rather have more pink. The white looks like it's going to like take over, and I'm just gonna go for it. I mean, what the heck? At this point, if you're watching it, it's not a complete disaster. And if you're not watching this, you have no idea that I even did all this. But I'll show you. All right, so let's try this one. I hate Plan B days. It's been a rough day today in this room. I'm making a tumbler off camera that got fish eyes. So I had to wipe that down and start that one over. So that was very frustrating. And then I was working on one other thing that is going to eventually come out to you guys. But I'm trying to recreate an accident, which is crazy because who wants accidents? But if I could recreate this accident, it would be super cool. And I messed up my recreation today. And then this happened. Yeah, it's been one heck of a resin day. All right, let's blow this out. All right, so let's just, it is taking all the bubbles out anyway, the heat gun is, which is a good thing. Oh, I did have one good thing that happened to me today. My Into Resin order showed up at the door, so that kind of saved my day. So that I will unveil, probably not today. In the next couple days I will do that. Yeah, it's exciting news. I have something we haven't done before yet with Into Resin, and we will be doing that this month, and I think continuing on monthly. I'm just going to add a little bit of pink, and I'm going to take a little stick. I'm literally winging this, you guys. You just have to wing it sometimes. Oh, that looks kind of cool. Now, if only it would stay like that. That I like. So maybe I'll keep coming in while this is curing for the next 20 minutes. And swirling it like that. I like that. That looks cool. And I still have a tiny bit of room that we can dome these. This is not at all what I was going for. Gosh, what a frustrating day. That's okay. Sometimes things like this happen and you end up with something you never would have tried and you're glad it happened. So that's what I'm going to say this day is going to turn into. All right. I'm not going to heat gun it anymore. I'm not going to spray it with alcohol. Now I have extra resin to deal with. Oh my gosh. I will take a lighter to it and pop the bubbles, even though you probably won't see these bubbles in under the top coat. They're just little teeny tiny surface bubbles. But, you know, if I can get rid of them, I want to. All right, I'm going to, oops, I just stuck it right in the resin. Don't burn your resin. Maybe I better put a lighter down. Today's not the day to be messing around with flames, I think. Okay. I'm gonna find something for this extra and keep swirling this until I can't swirl it anymore. Keep your fingers crossed, you guys. And hopefully the stickers will go on here. It's been another 24 hours. These are the longest taking coasters I've ever made, and now I have to do another coat on top. I stood here while after I poured this for probably an hour, and I kept swirling because the swirl would go away because the mica powder was working together. So I just kept swirling and swirling and swirling until I knew it was too thick to do that. So what do you think? I think they're okay. They're not obviously plan B, but they're not too bad. I did have some extras I'll show you. Pretty cute. The extras might take the show today, unfortunately, but we'll see what happens. Little turtles, 2 white, 2 pink. I'll put a little flat back bail on them, make them little pendants. I had these pendants that I just mixed some colors together. So these came out really pretty. So it worked like, well, not really worked, but it did something in here, and it was the wrong resin to do that. So I don't know what's going on. Everything's backwards. I made one flower, so I just poured in the pink and the white, and it came out really pretty. I love combining colors in this mold. And I made a snail. Isn't she cute? Pink and white. 1 pink eye, 1 white eye. But I like the way it combined. I just did layer, 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 layer of each color. That's how I did this one. And she's got a little bit of micro bubbles, but you honestly cannot even tell by looking at it. So we'll bling this out because this might steal the show later. So we're going to put these on. And then I'm going to top coat one more coat with another coat of tabletop. These are... You will peel the back. Now I don't know which ones I like all of them, so I guess it doesn't even matter. Maybe I'll do those 4. So I'm just going to cut them apart. Try to place them as centered as I can. So you have to peel the backs off and the fronts off of these. And like I said earlier, these are permanent. I think they're unscratchable. I think they're like, you can't damage them if you wanted to. So you can really stop at this point if you wanted to. But they're not full, and I don't want to stop at this point. So I'm just going to put them in. I don't think they're going to be horrible. It's just when you have something in your head and you want to do it, and then it doesn't work that way, it gets a little frustrating. Today I'm having a better day though. Okay, so that's the top piece that you have to peel off as well. So don't forget to do that. So, isn't it cute? Pretty cute. I mean, it looks like strawberries and cream background, I guess. I'm gonna have to talk myself into these. I've never like sat and swirled my mica powders until it was completely done moving before, and I do like that effect. I really like it. I always like it when I do it, but then I walk away and it does its thing, and then I come back and it's gone. But I was like not about to walk away last night. I was on the phone with a friend of mine, and I just sat here and I watched him while I talked for about an hour. Now I can't get this off. So yeah, there's that too. These are not easy to peel, I guess. The first one came off pretty easy. Come on. I wonder if I could do the tape trick on this. Let me try a different one. I don't want to sit here all day and fight with these stickers. This one will come off. So I'm trying to get them as centered as I can. And then peel up that clear. I'm still deciding on crushed crystal. I'm sure you all probably know my decision. That's kind of like a bad addiction, that crushed crystal. Once you have it and you use it and you see what it does, then it's like you put it in everything from there. I'm seeing that everybody's putting it in everything. It's so funny. I had to watch that. So funny that everybody has that stuff, but man, I'm so glad I have it. It's so pretty. There's that one. And then I can't remember how much I actually used. I don't know how much resin. I'm going to end up with extras. I think I'm going to mix up about 5 ounces. Hand mix it. I don't know if I mentioned that before. You hand mix tabletop resin. You really can't put tabletop through a vacuum chamber. It will just bubble forever and it's too thick. So even the good vacuum chambers, it would take too long. So you just kind of get your bubbles out with a heat gun, or you guys can use torches. I don't like to use torches, or long neck lighter, things like that. So I'm gonna mix that up, pour it on, and then I'm gonna try to move them out of my way so I can finish some extras, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, I just moved them to another spot in my room. I've got 5 ounces mixed up and crushed crystal is in there. So I'm just gonna go, you're not gonna hear me because I'm gonna go eye level so I don't over pour these. Hopefully I have enough. I've already spilled it over the edge. There will definitely be domed. Well, hopefully I have enough to do them. If I don't, I'll do them off camera and we'll just come back for demold. So I just spilled it over there. Okay, I've got a little bit left, 1 ounce, so I only needed 1 ounce per coaster. So I'm just gonna get a long neck lighter. Let me do that. I mean, I probably could use a torch. You know what, I probably can. Let me find my little one. Because it's definitely not gonna be touching my mold at this point. Possibly the edges. So hopefully that doesn't happen. I hope I didn't fuse them. So I'll find something for that extra and yeah, finally we'll have a reveal. This is finally finished, you guys. Oh my gosh, what a fiasco on these. So they're all cured. I have some extras. Here's a little bear that I poured with the very scrapings of the bottom. I'll put a little face on them and put a magnet on the back. Then I did 2 flowers with the rest. I just layered the colors. And actually I mixed pink and purple and clear. So the colors were pretty close together, so you can see a little bit of the difference, but, and you know, it crackles when you want it to, when you don't want it to. Not that I don't want it to, but I really like it crackled in here. I don't understand why it didn't do my effect. I'm gonna lose sleep over this one today. So here's the 2 little flowers. I'll either make them into a keychain or put a magnet on the back. And then there's really no reveal other than let's see what the backs look like, even though they're not going to be pretty. I might do paint pen around the edge. I'm thinking about it, but I'm not quite sure. I mean, thank God the sides are the same color. Yeah, nothing spectacular, which they wouldn't have been anyway. Even if it did work, the backs would not be spectacular because I didn't pour clear in first. But most of the time I don't put clear in first and I still get exactly what I want. So I'm just going to trim off this little over pour on these, and all the backs are about the same. It's got a really pretty pretty sparkle in there. I do like them. I just wish sometimes, you know, what I really want them to look like would actually happen. I don't like having to do plan B. This one I really over poured, so I'm gonna have to do a lot of trimming on that. But yeah, really no reveal. Here's the back. And then the same thing on this one. So I have 4 more of those stickers. Give me some ideas what I can do with them other than coasters. And that one, I mean, they are pretty, don't get me wrong. I will trim these up. I'm probably gonna put some paint pen around the edge. Same thing on those. I'm gonna finish them up and we'll get you some final pictures. I think I've kept you long enough and you know how to put paint pen and magnets on. So anyway, guys, I will see you guys tomorrow. I'll try to come up with something that might actually work. All right, I'll see you then. Have a blessed day, everyone. Bye.